Well, hello, darling. I know what you're thinking. But before you think, let me just say, I'm an artiste. I'm an artiste, darling. Or like the Godfather will say, I'm an artist. Oh, Michael. Oh. Anyway, yes. These are my new glasses. Okay? It's like I'm seeing a little bit blurred though right now because these are a big higher prescription, man. I'm getting old. I'm getting old, y'all. I'm getting old. Look at this. I'm like bald. See that? Boom, bald. Bald. Shit. Yeah. So let's talk about the perfect subject in that case, combustion. So somebody asked me, you have not discussed combustion. Can you please discuss combustion? So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that, I have understood about combustion. One thing also you need to know about combustion is that if a planet is coming out of combustion, it's a very, very different thing than a planet going closer to the planet for combustion. Like when a planet is coming out of combustion, it actually has refined itself. It's like a gold coming out from the heating process. Okay, which I forgot to include in my previous upload of this video. And many people were saying, well, my planet is this, it's not doing that, it's not this. And they were all above the degrees of the sun. If a planet is above the degrees of the sun, it is coming out of the combustion versus a planet that is behind sun. Okay, so there's a different level of combustions. When it's coming out, we know that this is a brand new, it's like a snake taking its skin off. When it's going towards it, it's like it's going now inside the heating process. So for example, like if you see Jupiter and Sun, it actually can be a very, very strong placement of Jupiter with Sun. Okay. But again, with combustion, you also have to see the other aspects upon the planets. Conjunctions. If there is a planet in between by degrees of Nadi, then that planet will be giving support to that planet. So all these things have to be known. Okay, you can't just see, okay, well, Venus is combusted by Mercury and this is it, that what I'm going to show you in the video. You also have to see if there's a planet in trine that is also going to be coming into the middle of this particular conjunction, because even though this is more of a Vedic thing, but especially in the Nadi thing, it will change that particular aspect. So just wanted to give you that before we go into this video. Thank you. So what is combustion? And remember, my Virgo blank chart prediction course is active on Maga Vedic Astrology Academy with age activation techniques. So you can go to the link in the description and join there. Also, I'm going to take one more chart for the moon D3 reading from my previous video that I made. I'll actually do 2 or 3 charts. Okay, it's not fair to just do one. I'm going to do 2 or 3 charts. I've slowed down finally after a week. But anyway, so as you know, when a planet gets closer to the sun, it's heated and it's combust. And there are certain degrees, which I don't remember on top of my head. I believe Mars gets combust at 17 degrees, Moon at 12 degrees, Jupiter at 11 degrees, Saturn at 15 degrees, Venus at 8 degrees. Don't quote me on it. Mercury at 14 degrees, something like that, right? So I don't know, but the reason why I said I don't know, because when we look at the software, we can see the C in our table. Like, okay, the planet is combust. Now, planets can also be combust when they are moving when they're in one sign and house. Sun is in one sign and house. Now, for example, if let's say your Mercury is at 27 degrees. Okay, let's say in Cancer, Sun is in Leo at 4 degrees. That's going to be a combust. But if it's reversed, if Mercury is coming out of that combustion, Sun is at 27 degrees, Mercury is at 2 degrees in the next sign, this is now refined Mercury. This is a very powerful Mercury. So again, combustion is not a bad thing. You could be, see, when we say control, that you'll hear in the video, is that if you look at someone like, let's say, Sundar Pichai, he's under control of Google. He hasn't made billions by doing something new. What he has done, he has worked under the umbrella of something big. That's kind of like, in a way, a combustion is. So some of the things that I say may sound, a little bit more pragmatic, but they're actually, you have to really understand that in the real world. Okay. Because you can have Sun Jupiter can give immense wealth to a person, independence to a person, but in certain Sun and Jupiter, it will have the person be controlled. So this is why we have to see the chart. Now, Moon is not really combust. Okay, Moon cannot be combust. What Moon is moving towards is lesser light, pretty much lesser to no light. It's a different way of understanding and seeing things. Okay, like for example, I'll give you an example from real life. Like when Moon and Sun are very close to each other, it's not going to be Amavasya. Okay, or it's going to be the next Tithi when Moon begins to wax. In this thing, you will see somehow the individual will lack the emotion and the support from the mother. You will see, you will somehow, some way, the regular neighbor that you had growing up, whose Moon might be in the 5th house and Sun might be in the 9th house. Well, normal mother yelled, mother loved, mother cooked, mother worked. But here with this particular Moon, okay, a person feels the lack of support from the mother. Mother cannot give support. Mother lacks the ability to give support. Okay. And the other thing we also see that a mother will also have his overwhelming and bearing control over this individual. An individual is not going to like it because Moon is with Sun. The person themselves has a strong ego. There will be nothing but battles, especially when this occurs in a fire sign because it's Agni Tattva. The fire element is active. So there's many ways to see a combustion. Okay. Not a beer. It's Diet Coke. Anyway. So when we're especially looking at a planet like Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, right? Whenever they're combust, it's like imagine you're in the same house as the king, as the principal, as the dean of the school, which I definitely visited many, many times. You can ask Mrs. Teitler at J.D. Teitler School. Do you remember this boy named Kapiel Raaj who came to your office literally every other day for some clown show shenanigan? She'll know. I don't know if she's still teaching at J.D. Teitler School. Man, it's like that was her office, and Mrs. Khanna's office in J.D. Teitler School was like my second home. Boy, I got some skills. Woo, man. That was nasty. Okay, but it was fun. Because right after I got out from the office, boom, me and 3-4 other guys, we were out there. But anyway, imagine the king, the father's in home, right? What happens when you have that traditional old school father? When he comes home. When you're watching TV, you'll see father coming up the stairs. You close the TV, you pick up your books and you'll start reading, right? There's that control. They have a control on you. Because if you do what you want to do, you're going to get the wrath. So when a planet is combust, it no longer has the freedom. When you try to seek freedom with that planet, you will be scolded, you will be yelled at. And you'll feel it. Everybody else around you will see you being scolded. So for example, Mercury is combust, which happens quite a lot. Okay? One always will get overpowered by friends and siblings. One cannot seem to have a control over the siblings or friends. When a friend wants to do something, that's it. They want to do something. And you feel like they have this control over you. They make you do things. Education, Mercury. Okay. Your education will strongly be connected with what the authority is saying. Now, the authority in your life most likely can be father, but father may not be there, could be the mother. Maybe it's your older brother. Because again, son is the authority. Son doesn't signify, okay, well, it's only the father. So the father's not there, there's no more combustion. That's not it. Whoever's the authority in your life will now have control over you. Like even if you have nobody, you were like an orphan, you go to school, the guidance counselor will have control over you. They'll be like, no, this is what you must do. This is what you need to do. And they will be so authoritative, you will feel crumbled under their power. That's the combustion. So what happens with combustion? Imagine the planet really is close to the sun. What happens when you see some of these videos when a planet comes closer to the sun or a star comes closer to black hole? It starts to wither away. It starts to lose its power, its gravitational force towards that black hole. If a planet comes too close to the sun, it will begin to go and merge into the sun. That means whatever that planet is signifying is merging into the power of the sun. Venus is combust. If marriage happens, you're under the spell and control of the spouse. And spouse will scold you when you don't listen to them. And when you raise your voice, that's it. Especially for men, it'll be like a doghouse. There's no aspect of control. There's no aspect of freedom. With the combust Venus, a spouse will be like, where are you at? Are you leaving work? Okay, where are you at right now? What time are you coming home? Oh, because you have to cook and do this. Wait, and you were thinking in your mind, well, I wanted to go and shop. I wanted to go to this place. And when you ask, can I go to this place? No, you have to come home. You have to do this. We have to take our kids here. We have to take our kids. The control is the aspect that makes you feel like a child. So combustion will make you feel like a child in that particular area. Venus is money. When Venus is combust, one can only make money under the authority of someone else. Usually I've always seen, like when I do my Venus wealth reading, whenever Venus is combust, somehow I see that a person is somehow working with the father, working for the father, or somehow through the father they receive the career. Now they feel guilty if they leave because they're not liking it, but it's the father who gave the word and this and that. So now you feel obligated to work, and that is what's going to be. Even if you see, I've seen some actors, like quite big actors, who have Venus and Sun. Guess what? You think they have freedom? No. Everything that they write on social media is controlled by the agent. They have to politically say something. They have to avenge for something. They have to go to certain parties that they don't even want to go. They have to appear in certain movies even when they don't want to be in those movies because the contract is there. They're getting paid and they were supposed to have a 5-movie sign up and this is the movie they have to do. Otherwise, they have to pay that money back. They're under the control of the studio and the agent. How do I know this? Because again, I have done actually readings of quite big actors who kind of like opened up to me. Because again, I keep everything confidential. I don't flaunt their chart on YouTube like some other people do. You know, when it's like when it's kind of like, you know, a lawyer and a client. You keep that. This is why I like, for example, now in my blank chart prediction courses, I tell people, if you want me to look at your chart, you have to give me permission to show your name, your email, everything. Because I don't want people to say like, okay, he's making up email, sending it to himself and giving the feedback. No, they want to feel like they want to contact you, they contact you. I'm not going to do that anymore. So when I do this in this way, then I'm saying, hey, I'm telling you beforehand, you better give me permission, otherwise I'm not going to show the chart. And you can see the feedback. I'm pretty sure most of you have seen the feedback from people. All right. So these courses are beyond exceptional. But anyway, so this is what happens. Okay. Like Venus and Sun can make you very creative, but you're going to lose your freedom. Venus and Sun, when it's combust, a person cannot understand marriage. One doesn't understand the concept of marriage. They don't know what to do in marriage. They still feel like they're a child. And this is where also the problem comes in. This is why divorces happen. Because they cannot understand the concept that, okay, there is something called limited freedom now with marriage. And it's a partnership. And it's 50-50. And it's divided. I can no longer just pick up my golf bag and go with my golf buddies and play golf. That's why you create a simulator in your home so you can play golf 3 times a day like I do. Man, that thing is addicting. If you really want to get away from social media and you really want to enjoy your life outside of this phone thing, get a golf simulator. Okay, and just play golf. Learn how to, once you know how to hit a shot and you hear that sound of the ball, oh man, I don't care if you've never played golf. I hated golf growing up. But once I first learned just how to hit it, man, that was it. That was done. I was over, O-V-E-R, over. I think that's how it's spelled. So Venus will do these things. Money's going to be under someone else's control. Then you have Mars. Mars is combust. What does this do? One, cannot show too much courage outside. Someone's going to control that courage. When you show too much courage, you will get burned. When you show too much strength, you get burned. When you show anger, you get into trouble, you face humiliation, you face issues with authorities, bosses, government. For example, somebody can go walk into a government office if they're not getting something done and get angry. Like, what is this BS? They can give a nice lecture and then get things done. When Mars is combust with Sun, goes in there, starts yelling and screaming. Police is being called. Why? Because this person is behaving erratically. This is why you see sometimes why someone got kicked off a flight because they did something. Well, I've seen so many people do the similar thing, but nobody says anything, nobody calls anything, the plane takes off, okay, fine. Why? Because you are trying to find freedom and trying to do something where you're not supposed to have freedom. You will see, especially combust Sun, younger brother will be fully in control of the father. Younger brother cannot make a decision on their own. They have to always seek the advice of the father, seek the advice of the authorities, unless you are the authority in their life. Younger brother will get so scolded so many times. Just from your horoscope seeing combust Mars, you can see how things will be playing out. And then you can obviously make the string. You can make a string, like if there's Jupiter and Saturn involved, Rahu involved, trine planets. You can see how that mix of flavor comes in, but I cannot show you that mix of flavor because the way for me astrology works is only when I'm doing a reading. When I know somebody got a reading from me and I'm looking at a chart, suddenly my consciousness changes. It's like Kapiel Raaj disappears and somebody else kind of comes in, and now I can just put every puzzle together. But if you told me to put a puzzle piece right now, I can't do that. That's how my brain functions. Some of my closest astrologer friends in the Pi team, one of them definitely said, you're a psychic. Like, you have psychic abilities. And then I realized when they put it in detail, that is when I look at a chart, when I'm especially focused on that chart, not like somebody's talking and walking to me, it becomes active. So this is why I can't give you a scenario of these trine, because again, my brain is a little bit dyslexic. It's looking at colors and patterns when it's doing this. But what I'm trying to say is that you can put a more flavor on a chart when you see these things together with the combust planet. Jupiter is combust. Okay. One will have a hard time finding a guru. You will see father actually becomes the authority in the guru. Wisdom lacks in a person. Why? Because they weren't able to explore enough freedom in their life to explore and learn wisdom. Jupiter with Sun, your children will become commanding of you. Because Jupiter is a significator of children. When Jupiter is combust, it doesn't mean you're not going to have children. You can have children, but watch, those children are going to start ruling over you. Those children will not listen to you. They'll become the authoritative person over you. And especially if you do find a guru. It's kind of like, imagine you, Sri Yukteswar, being your guru. The hardest guru you'll ever get. They'll burn you into ashes before they raise you back again like Phoenix. So one has a very hard time even in school, because in school, Jupiter will be the teacher, right? Professor. Such people always tend to find, they always sign up for classes naturally where the professor is very hard-headed. Professor is going to be the one whose rules, laws, and policies work. There's no more like margin, grading. Oh no, you get 50 out of 100, that's it, you fail. There's no like the class did only 60%, so now we're going to take it from there. You'll get these type, I'm just giving an example. You'll get these type of scenarios happening. Jupiter and Sun. You will see this person, because Jupiter is banking and finance. They'll always need support of somebody to deal with issues of banking and finance. They'll need a co-signer in their life to get something in their life, like a property loan, car loan. So the financial industry has a strong hold on you, and you have to have an authority who kind of gives you that particular permission to get that loan. It's very hard for actually Jupiter to become independent. Saturn can actually become independent more than Jupiter. See, Saturn, when it's combust, Saturn becomes rebellious. Saturn is the son of Sun, right? So when even Sun is combusting Saturn, Saturn's like, listen, I'm your DNA, buddy. I can take this heat. And so what happens when Saturn is combust, the person you always, if it's not without combustion, okay. But if it's combust, there will be fights, arguments between father and the son. And son will be like, that's it, I'm out. I don't care if I have to live on the streets and beg. I ain't gonna take your advice or be under your regime. So this is where, this is not something you're gonna read from book. Unless someone put this in ChatGPT and now ChatGPT says this. This comes from experience of looking at the charts. So many times I do get people will combust Saturn, and always there's going to be some power play. But see, Saturn can, more than even Mercury, Saturn handles the heat of the sun. In practicality, you see this. Why? Because Saturn has the DNA of the sun. People forget. Sun is the son of Saturn. Even though it came from Chaya, but it's still son of Saturn. So this is why Saturn has the ability. It's like you're son of Thanos. You're son of Superman, let's say. Okay? And Superman is getting 100% affected by kryptonite. But you will get affected because you are their DNA. Maybe you're getting affected 20%, 30%. But the DNA has transferred. So this is why Sun and Saturn, when it happens, person can become very rebellious and does leave. But usually what also it happens is that one's profession is under control of an authority. Usually such people love working in government, love becoming soldiers and fighters, wanting to become a fireman, wanting to become a police officer. Why? Because they feel like subconsciously, I have to be under somebody. I have to be in service to someone. Yes, they fought for their father. They left their home. That doesn't mean that combustion is over. Because they're still looking for somebody above them. And they don't even realize that, oh yeah, it is the combust Saturn. Why I'm loving this. Because that's the comfort zone. Right? Like there's been experiments when you keep a bird caged and feed everything and give everything, and you open the door, it won't leave. Or it hesitates to leave. It doesn't know what to do. So there's always this subconscious comfort that we get by still falling into the same trap. Like, for example, when signatures reading that I do. Sometimes I see like some of these signatures need exorcism. Okay? So I help them change. Then they'll get some other reading. And they send me a new signatures that they did. Guess what happened? Everything that I said not to do, they didn't do. But now they did something new, which is very similar to the one that I said not to do. Some people, I told them, don't make your N go up so high. Okay. Instead of the N, they made the D go up high. So subconscious is still trying to make that mistake, so the karma continues. Now, in the same way, you can do house lords. How do you do house lords? Like for example, third lord is combust with the sun. Same thing happens just like Mars. Sibling is going to be they'll be terrified of the authority. They'll be very dependent on the authority. They will be very dependent on the father. They'll be controlled by the father. Or the younger sibling, they'll be controlled by the father, but they will also come after you like they're the elder sibling. Because that combust planet no longer realizes what its position is. It's burnt. Whether it's half burnt or fully burnt. When they're fully burnt, they lose the fact, oh, wait, I'm a younger sibling. I should have some respect for my older sibling. No, I don't have any respect for my older sibling. They'll treat you like you're the baby. Whether it's the 7th house of the spouse, 5th house of the children, 6th house of relatives, 9th house of the father naturally, 11th house of older siblings, 4th house of the mother. So all of these things, 8th house of in-laws. So you will see a combust planet is going to not respect the way they should be respecting you. And the best scenario that I just gave, younger sibling should be like, hey, it's my older sister, older brother. I should just respect. I know I'm mad at them, but you approach them with certain attitude. Versus if you were to yell at your younger brother, but no, they come after you like you're nothing. This is why also these third lord is combust. The relationship will become combust at one point. That's it. Because when the other person is not respecting you, you're not going to want to engage with them. So this is how the understanding of combustion works. But like I said, you can take it deeper to the sign. You can take it deeper to the nakshatra, to the pada, and the string of the planets that are being formed in the trine or second from that planet. And of course, when it's retrograde, like especially Venus combust and retrograde, that requires a special prayer there. Yeah. So, yeah, this is combust. Now, if you leave your details, I'll show in your chart on my Keras vlogs. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to still do 2 more D3 charts reading on Keras vlogs this week. And then I'm also going to take your birth details. So if you leave them at the bottom, I will choose your chart. I will put it in Keras vlogs and show you how the combustion is working. Because when I'm actually in front of my screen, in the mode of looking at the chart, then something changes inside me. Now I'm going to start talking, and that's it. That's how it works. All right. So anyway, guys, and remember, if you're new here, I'm filled with subscribers. So if you want to subscribe to this channel, there's an application process. Once you fill out the application, I will probably do a 3-part interview, me or my assistant. And if I think you're a good match for my channel, then you can subscribe, of course. So right now I'm Phil. I'm no longer looking for subscribers, but yeah, just fill out the application and then hopefully it works out. Thank you.